back to my channel. My name is Anna. My pronouns are she, her, and this is Anna's Books and Stitches. I have been sitting here messing with the angle and the camera and the ring light, which I have, trying to find the right angle so I'm not getting as much of a glare on my glasses as last time. It's almost 7 o'clock here, so the daylight isn't great right now in this room. Not that it's ever really great because the natural lighting in this house is garbage, but welcome back to the chaos. Like I said, my name is Anna. This is Anna's Books and Stitches. This is a channel where we talk mostly about cross stitch. I will also sometimes mention other fiber arts that I'm working on, like quilting or sewing or knitting or crocheting or whatever else. I talk about books. I talk about my life. I'll talk about ADHD at some point because it's a big part of my life. And honestly, generally, I feel like this was going to just kind of go where it wants to go. That's kind of how I live my life. You kind of just have to accept that sometimes you're gonna get off track and you just gotta pull it back in. But I don't really have anything big to start with like I did last time today. And so I guess we will jump right into projects. So I mentioned last time that I don't like new starts. Like starting something new is always a struggle for me because there's so much that goes into a start, and with the ADHD, see, already mentioning it, it tends to take more mental effort to start something unless I'm in that mindset already. So I don't start a whole lot of new projects unless there's a reason for it. Last time I talked about the Manning May sale that I started because there was an urgency, there was a sale. But now that I've said all of that, I started 2 new projects yesterday. Yes, 2 new projects started in one day. And I don't even know. I was ready, I guess. So we're gonna start with another cell. This is going to be the vanity sampler. See that? Yes. And the heathens, I mentioned them last time. They're the ones that are also doing the Manning May sale. They started a sale for this, but it's a goth conversion that Cam the Stitcher did, that she mentioned on her Flosstube a while back, and it was like, my friends and I wanted to start this, and I got it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this like what it says is so goth. Like it says, youth and vigor soon will flee, blooming beauty lose its charm, all that's mortal soon will be enclosed in death's cold arms. I mean, come on. So she was talking about this goth conversion that she did, and she showed the colors, and I was immediately like, I need to do this. And so I messaged her after I was done watching her video. I was like, I'm gonna need that conversion because it's amazing. And so they started the sale, I wanna say the 20th of this month. And it's just hashtag goth vanity sampler sale. I'll put the hashtag down here. And it's a lot of fun. I just started it because, I don't know, I just started it. But, so, this is where I am so far. You can see that. Yeah, there we go. It's really good in there. Look at those colors. This, right here. I can't unsee it. And hopefully now you can't either. This is on where's my notes? A 40 count, I want to say? No. Lord have mercy. 36 count. 36 count Edinburgh linen in Espresso by Fiber on a Whim. And I was nervous when I first pulled it out because I was thinking it might be a little too dark, but I'm really loving the combination of these colors on this darker fabric. And there's Calcifer, my little buddy. I love him. Okay, so that's what it looks like so far. And these are the flosses. Hold on, they're a mess. So I just pulled all of these off of old bobbins, the cardboard ones that I had before I started using Adam Hart cross stitch bobbin floss drops, which are back in stock. I'll talk about that in a haul at the end. But just you guys, let me see if I can do this properly. Look at these colors. They're not wanting to cooperate. Okay, I can already feel that this video is going to be a bit of a mess, but that's just life, and I don't even care. Okay, there we go. Look at those colors. Can you see them? He's wanting to catch my face. You guys, this is gonna be so gorgeous. I'm really trying not to swear on this floss tube because I swear a lot. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I am a swearer. I was a military spouse for 12 years, and 4 of those years, my husband worked with mostly Navy. So it's just kind of part of my vocabulary now. But I'm really trying not to swear a bunch on these just because I know that not everybody's down for that, and that's totally fine. I get it. It is what it is. But as a warning, there will be an occasional F-bomb or other cursing. I lived in Europe for 4 years too, so there's generally some other curse words that, for whatever reason, people in the United States find way more offensive than people in Europe do. One starts with a C, the other starts with a T. So if you know, you know. But that was Vanity Sampler. And these colors, you guys, these colors, like this color palette is my life. They're purples and this mauve and this red. Oh, Cam, you're a genius. It's gonna be great. Okay, the next one that I started, I talked a lot about on my last floss tube because I just had purchased the pattern and gotten the floss and the fabric. And it's not a huge start because I didn't work on it for a super long time. I think I worked on it mostly for about half the time when I was live streaming. I wasn't live streaming when Michelle Bendy Stitchy was live streaming for her Patreon while filming her floss tube on Saturday? Yesterday? What day is it? I don't even know. Sunday. Today is Sunday. So she was live streaming, filming her floss tube yesterday, and I worked on this one for about half that time. But I really am enjoying the combination of these colors. I like that I can see through this fabric because I can tell whether or not it's in focus, but so it's really looking good. Oh, good Lord, it's upside down. There we go. This is a needle minder that I got from Adam Hart Cross Stitch. And the fabric for this one is 36 count linen from Picture This Plus in the colorway Haunted. And the floss is Serendipity by Forbidden Fiber Co. I love them, like I mentioned last time. And I'm really, really, really loving the combination. And I always forget to go through and do the smiles and the whatever. What are they called? Thumbnails? Thumbnails. The thumbnail pictures so I can actually have a decent one. Whatever. So this grime guard I made myself. It's got cupcakes on it. It's a little bit too wide for this medium Actually, it's perfect size for this medium nerd tube because it's what I made it for, but it's too wide. It covers way too much of my fabric because I was originally wanting to use it for my Pokemon piece. It has a crap ton, see, of extra fabric. So you need a little bit more girth to your grime guard to be able to hold that fabric properly. But I'm not using it for that because I put my Pokemon in my large nerd tube and this grime guard's too small. So it's beautiful. And I will put a picture here of what Namari, I don't even know. My Elvish is crap. This pattern, however you pronounce it, what it's supposed to look like. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, so there's that one. That's my second start. So those were the only 2 starts I had in the last two weeks. Well, I had a staff as well, but I'm going to show that in the finishes because I don't have any other finishes this time. So I had a staff as well, and but those are the 2 big starts that I started. I actually started both of those yesterday, so I was apparently in the mood to start things. I actually considered starting a 3rd piece as well. So who am I, right? Okay, so that was all of my starts. So I'm going to go into whips. I worked on 5 pieces in the last 2 weeks. I know I mentioned last time in plans that I was working on stuff based on the fandom Facebook group challenge monthly stuff. And there were a bunch of different projects, that I had listed out that I had certain stitch count goals on, and I was getting a certain amount of points and blah, 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 blah. And I went through and I did a decent portion of that. But I think the hardest thing for me ended up being that it just became stressful. I don't like giving, with things that I enjoy, things that I do for fun and for my own peace of mind, I don't like giving myself deadlines if I don't have to. There are certain things that, like gifts, that you kind of want to get done in a timely manner. But if I'm doing things simply for myself, for the joy of stitching, it's just making me, I think that is why I ended up starting those 2 things, was because I had gotten so focused on getting all the stitch counts done. So those were started. I also was supposed to film this Flosstube yesterday and I just wasn't in the mindset for it, which I think is also another reason I was like, I'm going to start 2 new projects, because I was avoiding it for whatever reason. This one feels a little bit more uncomfortable is not the word. What's the word? Forced, maybe? I still don't think I'm in quite the right headspace to really not do this justice, because I'm filming you. You're getting me. You're getting, this is who I am. This is where I'm at right now. I'm not in the same mindset I was in for my last 2 Flosstubes, but I also will talk about that later when I talk about life stuff. Okay, next piece. This is my Pokemon Epic Gen 1 Pokemon standard version, and I am doing this on a 18 count easy grid Ada, and this is what it looks like last time I showed it to you guys. I can't remember exactly what it looked like last time I showed it to you, but I really think I didn't do a whole lot. This is where it's at. I'm pretty sure that all I did was this, because I'm working at this in diagonals by page. I know I mentioned that last time. I talked about this in my whip parade. So as you can see, I had finished this diagonal here, right? And you can kind of look at Bulbasaur. I'm still so obsessed with Bulbasaur. So I'm trying to see and talk at the same time without it getting my face in, so that's why it's angled funny. So I'm pretty sure I just kind of worked on this leaf here for Venusaur, the side of Venusaur's face. I started stitching this because it was supposed to be words. It was one of the projects. I was supposed to get 300 stitches on something that has the number 3 in it. And Venusaur is number 3 in the Pokedex, and he was the one I was working on. So I was like, perfect. But I want to say this is maybe 50 stitches. No, I think I did more than that. Probably closer to 100. Maybe, I don't even know. But I also frogged and had to redo a section like 3 times because I was off from the last time I stitched it. I had messed up. But it just wasn't bringing me joy. I was trying to stitch it and it was just like putting the stitches in. It wasn't fun I don't know. It's just, I wasn't in the right headspace for it, but I'm still obsessed with these needle minders from Uncanny Arcanist. Shiny Umbreon. And baby Bulbasaur. He's so cute. I love him so much. But so I just put it away because I don't want to work on things that aren't going to bring me joy. Because that's why I stitch. I stitch to help my mental state. I stitch for enjoyment. I am someone. Michelle Bendy said in a couple Flosstubes back that there are 2 types of people, well, 3 types really, but 2 types of styles of stitching. There are finish-based people and there are process-based people. So there are people that all they really care about, not all, but you know what I mean, is the finishes. They want projects done. They want to be able to display them. They want to be able to check it off the box, check it off the list and all of that. And then there are people who stitch for the enjoyment of stitching. They tend to be the ones that have a bajillion whips and they don't mind that they have a bajillion whips. They know that they're never going to get through all the things that they have to stitch, and they know that it's going to take them years to finish all of their whips, and that's fine with them. And I'm definitely much more of a progress stitcher because I stitch for enjoyment. I mean, I still haven't finished any of the fully finished any of the pieces that I've finished. I mean, I've got the one that I finished in March that's still not done. The one that I have for my mom, she didn't end up coming down for Matriarch's Day, but that's not fully finished yet. I bought the stuff for it. I bought the foam board and the little pins, and I just got to do it. And I don't, because that's this whole other starting kind of issue, because you're not starting a project, but you have to start a different process on the project, and that's a whole, and I don't know I don't know what I'm doing with that. So that makes it even harder for me because I don't know what the steps are. I've watched a couple of videos on Flosstube on how to flat finish and when you sew up the background around the foam board, whatever that's called, that kind of finishing. But I'm kind of nervous about it, so I just haven't done it yet. But Pokemon wasn't bringing me joy, so I put it away. The next one that I think I've gotten the most progress on this month is still in the nerd hoop. That's fine. Okay. Didn't want to go back in. I'm actually gonna take it out of the nerd hoop so we can see it. I obviously didn't iron it because I'm literally just now taking it out of the hoop. Okay. I've got some threads and a needle minder. Let me just push this over here so I can kind of get a better idea. Okay, so this is what it looked like last time. I talked about it last video. This is what it looked like then. I did do for the Mayhem portion of the fantasy stitching whatever challenge group. the name will be here because I can never keep it in my brain. I did finish all 15 days of this. Most of the days ended up just being 50 stitches, which is fine. I stitched on it, not every day, there are a couple of days that I missed, but for 15 days this month. And this is what it looks like now. I am really proud of how far I got on this month. I'm almost completely done with the outline of the bookshelf. I'm not going to censor that. Nope. Because, like I said, I'm the type of person who swears, and if that bothers you, this may not be the right place for you. And that's fine. I'm not going to be the right place for everybody. I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that doesn't bother me. I've accepted that throughout my life. I think I talked about that last time. It's not a big deal. If you don't, it is what it is, right? Okay, but I'm almost done with the bookshelf, the outline. And then I can move on to all of the decorations around the top and around the bottom and on the bookshelf, and finally start the actual, the books, the temperature. It's only May, no big deal. So this one is on 20 to 8 count Lugana in the colorway Mirage from Picture This Plus. This is probably, honestly, I love this color. It's, am I getting a good? That's a really good read on this color, at least in my phone, what I can see of it. It's gray and it's mottled, but it's got this beautiful like gray lavender tone, undertone, base tone, and I really, really, really love it. This is the first piece of over-dyed fabric that I bought. That's exciting for me. It's 28 count, which is a little big, but whatever. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I've actually started to find with Picture This Plus fabric that it's almost too soft for me. And I know that's weird, but it's almost, I feel like it's just the holes they get, they're too easy to manipulate. So they'll get really big and then you kind of gotta go through and like fix them back. And it's fine, it's not that big of a deal, but I feel like it distorts a little bit easier than other brands that I've used or dyers or since I started. But Goth Temperature Cell. I can never remember what the actual name of this project is. That may be the actual name of this project. By Grandma B. Wilden. It's amazing. I love it. It's fantastic. I've been terrible at saying who my projects are by today. The Vanity Sampler, that one is by Hello from Liz Matthews. The Namari Tapestry, whatever it's called, is by Modern Folk Embroidery. The Extended Gen 1 Pokemon is by Lord Libidan, still don't know how to pronounce that. And this one is by Grandma B. Wilden. I don't know why I'm so out of it right today. I mean, I know this is only technically like my third Flosstube, and I know not everything's gonna be perfect yet, but I don't know. I'm all over the place. It's been a rough couple weeks, mainly last. It's been a rough week, but like I said, I'll talk about that in life stuff at the end, because not everybody cares, and that's fine. And it's not that I know it's not that you don't care. It's just not everybody wants to sit and listen to me talk about my life, and that's fine, because that's not why we're here. This isn't a personal journal vlog. It's Flosstube. We're here to talk about cross stitch and stitching and all that kind of stuff. The next one is the Greenhouse of Oddities Sal. Apparently all I do anymore is Sals. And this is what it's supposed to look like. The first planting just dropped, and this is what it is going to look like. This is what it looks like with the new first planting. I'm really excited. Little owl is adorable. He's so tiny. And then this is what it looked like last time I showed it. So I went on a field trip with my oldest on Friday. We live in Portland area, and we went up to Seattle for their 8th grade music, choir, and band trip. So all of the 8th graders that are in choir and in bands went up to Seattle. It was a lot of fun. I like going on these field trips. I was a huge choir nerd all through high school. That's really all I did. Choir, musical theater, actual theater, choir. Like, I lived in the performing arts wing 6:30 to 6:30 or later, basically every day throughout the year. So it was a 3-hour bus ride. Luckily, we took a charter bus. The field trip I'm going on with my kids in 2 weeks, the younger one will be going too, and this is their end of the year choir competition in Tacoma. And the morning will be choir competition, and the afternoon is at Wild Waves, which is a lot of fun. But again, I'll talk about this is a life Portland in Greenhouse of Oddities. This is what it looked like last time. The point of me talking about all of that field trip stuff is I stitched this on the bus on the way up and the way back. I worked on this on the bus. And so this is where I am. I got a lot of the brown, the darker brown, and the black done. But all the black I got done on the bus. And then some of the fill-in work of the brown. But I realized as I was finishing this that somewhere, I'm assuming in here, I am off by 1 stitch. Just one. I've got 1 row too many. So what I need to do, luckily I can just take it off the top, is I'm gonna need to go through and count this to double check that it's here, not somewhere else in the shenanigans. I'm pretty sure it's here. And then tear out all of this. Luckily, I have started stitching the English style, so I'm doing full crosses instead of the Danish style. I think that's what it is, where you do one leg all the way across and then the other leg all the way back. So when you do English style, when you have to frog, it's easier to frog stuff because you don't have to, you can start in the middle even. Like if I realized I need to take one of the, I have realized when I need to take one of these out, what I can do is I only really have to take out this top section. I won't have to take out all of this. It'll just be here because I can just pull out a couple extra crosses, bury my thread or end off the threads, and then restitch that little section. For me, as I've transitioned to the English style, that has been the most beneficial because I was stitching Danish style where one leg all the way across and then the other leg all the way back. And when I would have to frog, it was wasting a bunch of thread because it would just get shredded as I was pulling it through the holes. And it was such a pain in the ass. But this way, it's actually, frogging is not as much of a headache. And I've had to do a lot of frogging recently. Life, man. The frog has decided to come visit me because it's been one of those weeks. This is on what is this on? 36 count and a raw linen. In the colorway Pearl Gray. And it's just a basic Zweigart. It's nice. It's a nice light gray. I don't know. It's nice. And it's all in DMC. No fancy floss, just the called for. And I love it. It's great. It's a really, really pretty stitch so far. Yeah, I don't know. I'm rambling. I'm already at 30 minutes. I was really... The last video, guys, I did not mean for that video to be an hour and a half long. Okay, that was an accident. I did not mean to. But I'm already at 30 minutes. I guess I'm almost done with my stitching. So I don't know what's happening. The next one is, it's called Modern Tidings. I mentioned this last time. And this is by Forbidden Fiber Co. I bought the kit because I wanted all the stuff. So I love Downton Abbey. Is one of my favorite shows. It's one of those shows that I've rewatched several times. There are a handful of episodes in the show that I don't watch. Well, not full episodes, but like I'll get to a certain point in the episode and then I'll just skip to the next one. If you've watched the show, I'm pretty sure you know that. I think there's three of them. Pretty sure you know the episodes I'm talking about. The Sybil episode, the after Lady Mary has her baby, the end of that episode, and then the third one is the Anna episode. Like I said, if you've watched the show, you know exactly the episodes I'm talking about. But so the prompt for this one was stitch on a piece that has hurt you. Sybil episode. So this is the pattern. It's called Modern Tidings. Come on, focus please. Thank you. And it's just gorgeous. And this is, I feel like this pattern, it so embodies Sybil. She's one of my favorite characters. It says, it's the gloomy things that need our help. If everything in the garden is sunny, why meddle? So I've been working on this. I actually got a decent amount of progress done because I was trying to get, I think it was 600 stitches or something like that. I don't know how many I've done. Look at these flosses, guys. Look how pretty they are. I love Forbidden Fiber Co. This purple is my favorite. I think this purple and this purple. But you guys know me. Where is it? Yeah, purple's my favorite color. I've always got it on my nails. It's always on this finger. I didn't flip you off. That was my ring finger. She's back. So it's on a 32 count Belfast linen in the colorway Countess. Why are there two needles on there? Oh, that's why there's two needles on there. I dropped one when I was in the car. Then I got it. So I've been mostly working on, as you can tell, I have not ironed it. Her pants. Let's try and get me this way. So, I mean, it's a decent amount of progress, but it's still not really anything recognizable, but that's fine. That's how cross stitch works, man. You stitch and stitch and stitch, and you're like, I don't understand how this is gonna come together. Then all of a sudden it's like, bam, there's a design and it makes sense. I've really enjoyed stitching on this project. I really like Forbidden Fiber Co. floss. It stitches really smoothly. It's really strong. I've never had any issues with it. I'm just sitting here touching it. I love the texture. But I'm doing this one 2/2. And it's I don't know. It's really pretty. This, I don't know if I said this colorway is called Countess. It's a mottled light blue and white. It's very pretty. Okay, last whip. We're doing better than last time. Last whip is my Carolyn Manning for Manning May, the Manning May Sal. I worked more on this just because I was really enjoying the way the colors were looking. And it's really, and it's really pretty. And it's starting to kind of, like I said with the last one, the design's starting to jump out at you a little bit more. And I am doing a bit of parking on this just because it is relatively full coverage. But this is what this is what the design looks like right here. It's Carolyn Manning. It's called Garden Glass, and it's beautiful. It's definitely a more vibrant, multicolored palette than I normally work with. I normally, like I said last time, normally work with mostly jewel tones, or in that kind of realm of things. But this has got greens and yellows and oranges. Like I said last time, yellows and oranges aren't really my color palette, especially for stitching, but I really, really enjoy how this looks. This is what it looked like last time I talked about it. I think I'd gotten 700 stitches in, I want to say. I don't remember. This is what it looked like last time. And this is what it looks like now. I am stitching this on a 40 count linen in Milk and Honey from Fiber on a Whim. And I really like the way it's looking. I really appreciate how this outlining for that flower has really made it pop. Even without the extra fill-in right there. It's really cool. Now I want to work on this. I like it a lot. Yeah, like I said before last time, I wasn't sure I was gonna like stitching on the Carolyn Manning, simply because it was so blocky. Excuse me, good Lord. But I'm obsessed with Starbucks cups, the plastic ones, tumblers. This is part of their Pride line. And I know, we need to take our Pride support from the corporations to the artists directly. And I know, I understand. And I will, I have every intention of doing that and continuing to do that and working with that for the rest of forever for all of those things, not just with Pride, but also with the Black, the BIPOC community. And I mean, I want to support the artists. I want to support the people that are doing the work, the putting in the work. I want to help to do what I can to show them that I see them and I understand how hard they work, and I want to support what they're doing. So that's all my stitching. No, that's all my whips. I do have a finish. I did this one when Pokemon wasn't bringing me joy. So I started it and I finished it. And it's a little saff. It says Be the Nonsense. This is on a 32 count white Murano, and the words are in the same Midnight Orchid by Almond M&Ms, and then the flower is in a Roxy Flosstube conversion of my own. This is a Bendy Stitchy Patreon design in a series that she's doing. And this turned out so pretty. I stitched this in like a night. Seriously, it took me like 3 hours. And I really love it. This will go into my journal with the other one that I did. So what I've decided I'm going to do with this series that she's done is I'm going to do all of the words in the same floss. So it kind of has a central theme running through, and that purple floss, and then I'm going to do the designs in whatever floss is called to me for that design. So this last time with the Roxy Floss Co. I just purchased that floss because I was purchasing a bunch of black for a project that I'm working on for a a modern folk embroidery project, a Jane Eyre piece. And so I wanted to do that all in chalkboard. And I wanted to, if I'm going to order something from Canada and pay the shipping and do the weighting, I want more than just one color. So I ordered, I think, 5 other just single skeins of color. And so that all of those were part of that. And I don't know, it was pretty. Those are my colors. That sage green and purple and this peachy color. I mean, that's my vibe. What are you gonna do? I mean, look, olive green shirt. But, so that's my set, start and finish. Didn't take me very long. And I love these designs. They're so cute. And they're just so sassy. Snarky, I think, is another word that Michelle uses. But I love them. And they're super cute. And I can't wait to do the rest of them. So that's all my stitching. I didn't do a whole lot this week, 2 weeks. I don't even, what is time, right? It's wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. It's not linear, and I refuse to accept that. So now I think I am going to go into haul. I'm going to stay cross stitch related before I go into life and books and what other nonsense I decide to talk about. So, first big piece of, I guess it's not a haul and it's not even an acquisition, it's a purchase, is Stitch North Weekend 2. You guys, I registered for Stitch North Weekend 2 yesterday. And it's going to be lit, as the kids say. Do they still say that? I don't know. We said it when I was a kid. It's going to be nuts, guys. It's going to be amazing. There's already so many people I know that are going to Weekend 2. Weekend 2 is sold out. And it's going to be Michelle Benny Stitchy's going to Weekend 2. Helen, the Diddy Stitcher, she's going to Weekend 2, and she's my roommate, and I'm super, super excited. I'm kind of obsessed with her because she's like the sweetest and the best, and I love her. And who else is going? Kansas City girl in a Colorado world, Julie, is going to Weekend 2. Frizzy Lizzie Stitches, Elizabeth, is going to Weekend 2. I think that's her. Yeah. Wow, my brain just was like, I said that came out of my mouth and I was like, is that right? I hope that's right. But she's going to Weekend 2. Who else messaged me and said they were going to Weekend 2? Schnook Crafter, the other Michelle that I love, is going to Weekend 2. And it's going to be great. I'm so excited. I've already reserved me and Helen's room just because I was thinking about it and wanted to make sure that I did it when I was thinking about it. Otherwise, ADHD, I would 100% forget. But yeah, it's going to be great. And I am so excited. It's going to be good. That is my big purchase. I also decided I'm going to Pinwis, which is Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit, in September. And like I said, it's downtown Portland, and I live in the Portland area. I was going to just drive out there every day and then drive home. But Mama needs a break. So what I decided yesterday is I got a hotel room. I got reserved one of the rooms at the hotel, and I'm going to go and stay down there Friday night and Saturday night. And it's going to be fantastic. I'm going to have a hotel room to myself for 2 nights, and I'm going to have a bathtub, which I don't have in my house, which is, the fact that I don't have a bathtub is traumatizing. But, so I'll have a bathtub, and then I won't have to worry about going to and from every day. So I can stay out there as late as I want to. I can get there as early as I want to without having to worry about the drive. My mom's gonna come and stay with my kids, even though the younger one was like, why can't we just stay by ourselves? I'm like, girl, you're 12. Okay, I trust you, but I don't think that's legally even allowed. That'd be 2 nights. They'd be on their own. 3 whole days, they'd be on their own. Nah, not gonna happen. So those are my big excitements for purchases. And so I've been good. I haven't, so the 2 caveats to my no buy that I mentioned last time were Adam Hart cross stitch thread drop bobbins coming back in stock. I was going to buy some, and Joann DMC floss sale, so I could finish my collection. Would you know that both of those things happened? So would you know that I spent money on both of those things? Because, I mean, I'm trying to get my entire, so one of the reasons that all of that monster pile of floss that I needed to bobbinate that I talked about last time wasn't bobbinated is because I didn't have the thread drop bobbins. I was out completely. And I didn't want to put them on cardboard bobbins just to take them off the cardboard bobbins and put them on the thread drop bobbins. So I just left a pile of floss. But the Adam Hart cross stitch came back in stock, and not only did they limited supply come back in stock, she's like I said, she's adjusting the design a little bit. She's making it better, and I'm super excited about it. But one of the beauties of that is that, beauties for me at least, when they get the samples, they're not always high enough quality to sell for full price. So I got 100, I think, for $22. No, that's not right. Yes, that's right. Because they're $11 for 50 of the, I can't remember what she calls them, but they're seconds. They're not quite right. They're not quite high enough quality to sell. And what kind of shows? This is one of the worst ones that I've kind of come across. The edges aren't super clean, but it's still solid shape. I mean, they're black. The other ones I have were kind of a frosted white. But, I mean, I don't care. They're just gonna get screwed up anyways. So these are the old clear ones, the frosted ones. These are what I have more of. So I bought 100 of these, like I said, because that was one of my caveats that I could spend money on. But they would only cost me $22 plus shipping. And I've been working on bobbinating that. I also finished my DMC collection. I didn't have a whole lot left, not quite even as much as I thought I did, but the sale price did go up 10 cents. So instead of being 40 cents on sale, they're now 50 cents, which makes sense. Oh, Lord. Dad jokes are my favorite. Puns are my favorite. I will always giggle. Which it's understandable because the base price has gone up, because DMC itself, the cost of it has gone up from the suppliers. So it's that trickle down theory, which is fine. I get it. And like I said last time, I know that's a steal for most other places in the world. 60 cents, 63 cents, whatever it is, because I think they're 63 cents at Michael's, I think, and 50 cents or 60 cents at Joann's. They're cheaper at Hobby Lobby, but I don't shop at Hobby Lobby. So this bag isn't full, and another corporate pride situation, but I didn't have a bag, and this one, you know. So this bag is full to about, how to see it here, right? So to about the base of this third word of floss that needs to be bobbinated. See? Look at all that. Bloop. But my DMC collection is finished. It's complete. I have done it. Possibly. That I was going through looking for the floss for the goth conversion of Vanity Sampler, and I realized that I had two 950s. So I'm not sure if I missed like 951 because it was in the wrong box, or if I just accidentally bought it twice. So we'll see as I bobbinate. So I've been working on that. So how I do my bobbinating is, where did it go? There it is. Sorry. I'm not gonna edit this because, you know me, that's not my style. You get the full chaos. So I use one of these. It is, I don't know what they're called. Thread winder, I think. I don't remember what they're called. I got this from Scott's Mountain Crafts on Etsy. And so what this does, for those who don't know, is it makes all your thread the same length. So for DMC especially, because a lot of fancy floss is it's put onto the whatever you get them on the little cardboard floss drop things in a certain way, so you can just cut it and then all your floss is the same length. And I like the 9-inch. That's what this one is. It's a 9-inch, and that's the length I like to use. So what it does is it makes all your floss the same length. I mean, obviously there's going to be some overhang with some of the colors because they lengthwise they're not all exactly the same, which is whatever. But so you wrap the floss around this thing and then you cut on that cut line, and then all your floss is the same length, and you can just pull out whatever threads you need as you go, and it makes it a lot easier. It's easier than bobbinating as well, like standard bobbinating. It's going to be a bit messier when I put it in my boxes, but I don't know what is going on with my burpee situation right now. It's whatever. I don't care if it's a little messy. What I have started doing though, is as I've been kitting up projects, I have a couple of projects that use the same floss. So I have, when I was kitting up the Vanity Sampler, the goth conversion for Vanity Sampler, let me find it. Where did it go? Oh, I'm a mess. Whatever, here it is. So I'm putting all of my base DMC collection on the black bobbins, or the black or white or whatever bobbins, right? But when I have a piece that calls for a color that is already on an Adam Hart cross stitch floss drop, and so I need it for more than one project. What I'm doing is I'm using these Adam Hart cross stitch floss drop hearts, and I'm taking some of the floss from the bobbin, leaving it in the project that it was already in, and I'm putting the number, if you can see it in pencil, on one of the little stickers in pencil, and then putting the color on one of these heart floss drops. So that will tell me the main bobbin is in another project. And it'll allow me, when I don't need this color in this project anymore, or when I'm done using it for this project, I can take the floss back off of it, put it on the original bobbin that it belongs on, and erase this number, and then reuse this floss drop. And that way I know kind of what's going on. Because I don't like, once something's kitted up, I want to be able to leave it kitted up. But I've also am only kitting up things with my DMC that I'm actively working on. So kind of keeps it from being less confusing. I really need a better way of like knowing where everything is, so I don't have to go through all of my projects to find the flosses that I'm looking for, like I did yesterday when I was kitting this up. It also doesn't help that half my freaking DMC isn't even bobbinated yet. That was fun. I dug through this bag, guys. So I was looking for 924, and looked through my box of stuff that I already have bobbinated, looked through my basket of bobbinated and not sorted floss, looked through all the kits, didn't find it. And so I had to dig through the entire bag of unbobbinated DMC floss. Couldn't find it. And then I was like, what the hell? Like, do I not have this color? Did I miss this color? Like, what color is this actually beyond just the number? So I went to my Excel spreadsheet that I got from Lord Libiton, which I keep all of my DMC numbers and stuff in there, and to see what 942 was. Guys, 942 doesn't exist. I wrote it down wrong. It's 924. So I went through all of my floss, all of my projects, all of the unbobbin, like all of it. Got frustrated for a color that doesn't exist. I mean, and then 924 was in the freaking box with all the organized bobbins. Whatever, guys. I found it and it was fine, and I still ended up starting my project. So apparently that was definitely where my brain was at. God, we're already at an hour. Okay, and so the other stuff that I got were the things that I mentioned last time that were coming to me already. So yeah, let's start with my stuff from Bestitch Me. So I ordered this stuff from Bestitch Me in February because I wanted to use the coupon code I had, and I wanted to spend money more than anything else, really. So what I bought was my first Fancy Lady, the Bella Filipina, and it is Bellatrix. I love her. I think I might darken her skin, make her Egyptian. Maybe. I haven't decided yet. I don't know. So I got that. I haven't gotten any of the floss or any of the anything for it yet. Just because I don't know when I'm going to start it, and kitting one of these is expensive. And yeah, so you know how that goes. But okay, so it was not cooperating. And then I got, the reason it took so long is because I ordered some fabric that wasn't ready to ship. And now that I have it, I'm hesitating. So this is Stonehenge from Bestitch Me. I mean, it's a beautiful cut of fabric. It is a 32 count Lugana. It's a beautiful cut of fabric. I love it. And honestly, that's pretty true. But I'm now worried that it's too dark. That we're gonna lose some of the detailing because of the heavy modeling and just how dark it is. So we'll see. I'm definitely gonna use this fabric for something. But I don't know if it's going to end up being my Bellatrix. So we'll see. And then I also bought this pattern. Fun thing about this pattern, guys. So I ordered, like I said, I ordered this in February, right? And I know I'd ordered the Bellatrix and the fabric, but I'd forgotten I ordered this pattern. Silver Creek Samplers, introverted but will eagerly discuss everything cross stitch. I now have 2 of this pattern, you guys. 2. I don't need 2 physical copies of the pattern. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is saving this for a giveaway at some point. Because I don't need 2 copies of this pattern. So we'll see what happens. It'll probably end up being a giveaway at some point. So stay tuned for that. And the next order is from Abby, Top Knot Stitcher's shop. And I ordered from her because, I mean, that came out wrong. I love ordering from Abby, Top Knot Stitcher. I ordered this recent order specifically for a pattern that came out. So I have wanted this pattern for ages, but it's been out of print. It's a Blackbird design. And I looked on eBay and I couldn't even find it on eBay. Like, that is how hoarded this pattern has been. But they re-released it and I'm so excited. Look at this. Look at it. Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. It's such a nice pattern, you guys. It says, away we ride till it's darkest pitch to find the home of the Wicked Witch. What I think I'm going to try and do is convert this from stash. See what I can do with what I have. I don't know if I'm going to have a fabric that's right, but I think I have floss that will work for almost this whole project. So we're going to give that a try. So that was the main reason. That is the reason I made this order. And nothing can travel alone because, you know, it's not how life works. So I ordered, and every project needs its own needle minder. So I ordered this needle minder from Abby, Top Knot Stitcher. It's so cute, you guys. Come on, focus on it, please. It's a witch. Because the way we ride, get it? Haha. It's really cute. And I really enjoy wooden needle minders. I don't know why. Something about, I don't know, the texture. Who knows? But I'm excited about that. That's going to specifically be for that one. And then I also ordered a bag of limited edition mystery thread pack from Gentle Arts. And I think some of these colors might work for that Away We Ride. Here are the colors. They're nice and variegated. I like this pink one, but they're really pretty. I've never used Gentle Arts before, or the Gentle Art, sorry, sampler threads. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. So like I said, I think some of these will work for that Away We Ride. Because it's all, I think Away We Ride, yeah, Away We Ride is charted in Gentle Arts. I mean, there's obviously a DMC conversion on the back, but yeah, so what I'll probably end up doing is pulling the DMC conversion and then basing my my Fancy Floss conversion, my Stash Fancy Floss conversion off of the DMC conversion. I think that'll be the safest way to go. But yeah, so that's all of my cross stitch based haul. I did order these earrings. So my friend Mimi, she was one of my friends when I lived in Germany, and she's moved back to the States since then. Which she posted on Instagram, from my personal Instagram, about she's making these earrings. And I messaged her and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in love. Like, I will pay you for a pair. Like, if you're willing to make me some. Y'all, look at these earrings. How cute are those? I mean, they've got little mushrooms on them. And they're purple, maybe we're colored. I'm so excited about them. My friend made these, guys. Like, she beaded these. and made them, and now I get to wear them and be like, look at what my awesome friend can do. I don't know. I really do love them. My kids are probably gonna try and steal them, but they're mine. But yeah, that's all my haul. So life. Let's see what I have to say about that. Last week was rough. Really rough. Like to the point where I haven't felt that out of control of my emotions in like a very long time. It was rough, guys. But I don't even know how else, like what else to say about that. And I know that like talking about this on my Flosstube channel isn't necessarily the ideal location for it, but if you're gonna be here, you're gonna get to know me. And if you want to, you don't have to. But it was a really rough week for me. I spent, I want to say from Thursday through Sunday in what felt like constantly on the verge of tears. And honestly, I can't even tell you what triggered it. I know a portion of it was hormones, but I've never had a hormone emotional reaction that intense. I woke up Monday feeling like the clouds were starting to clear. So that was good, but it was rough. I mean, I'm still feeling the after effects of it. I'm still not, which is probably why I'm not, the headspace I'm in for this video isn't necessarily the greatest, and why I keep saying probably, but it was rough. Like to the point where I finally got myself to call and make an intake appointment for therapy, because there's a lot I've noticed, especially with this last week. There's a lot of childhood trauma in me, and I mean, I'm going through a divorce from a partner that wasn't ideal, to say the least. Put it nicely. And so I think it's one of those things where it's time to stop trying to do it by myself, because I'm really good at analyzing my emotions. I was actually talking to my friend about this earlier, because my kids are gone. They're at their cousin's house, and it kind of highlights how alone I've been feeling, how lonely I've been feeling. Like, so my best friend, I mentioned this last time, we're renting her house. She lives with her boyfriend. She moved out in December, and then when I broke up with my boyfriend, he moved out in end of March, I want to say it was. It's May now. That feels right. End of March. And so this is the first time, the last couple months, so beginning of March to now, is the first time in my entire life, I'm 35, that I have lived on my own. I mean, I've got my kids and that helps, but they're at their cousin's house this weekend. And whenever they're gone, it kind of emphasizes that I live by myself, which has its perks. Do not get me wrong. Especially as an introvert, it definitely has its perks, but it's forcing me to feel my feelings, and I don't like it very much, I think is the extent of it. I'm very good at analyzing my feelings, because when I analyze my feelings, I don't have to feel my feelings. Stop and think about that for a second. I know a lot of people, myself especially, who are really good at pointing out, this is why I'm feeling this way, this is what it stems from, this is what I can do to possibly make it better, this is what childhood trauma I am reacting from, blah, 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 blah. All of the disconnected ways of looking at the emotions. But when you're analyzing, you're not actually feeling those emotions. So what you're doing is you're finding a way to distract yourself from feeling those emotions. And now that I live by myself with my kids, when they're gone, it's hard to distract myself. It's really hard. So, your girl decided that she needs some help with that. So I have my intake appointment in a couple of weeks. It was the earliest I could get in, which is fine. I'm not in any kind of mental danger or anything like that. It just was one of those things where I was kind of like, it's time. You've been thinking and talking about this for a while. It's time just to do it. Just get the fuck over it and do it. And I did. And I feel better about it now. And I'm looking forward to starting. But that's my life right now. What else? And that's really it. I've been doing great with my training. That's been going well. And not really a whole lot. School gets out. I guess I have like 12 days left of school or something like that. So the next couple of weeks are gonna be nuts. Oh, I remember now. There is one extra thing that I'm really excited to talk about. So I took all of this coming up week off because I needed a break from how crazy last week felt. And my kids have doctor's appointments on Tuesday, and Michelle, Bendy Stitchy, is coming up from Eugene on Wednesday, and she's coming up to Acorns, and we're gonna go and stitch and hang out, and I get to meet her in person, and I'm so excited. I'm kind of obsessed with her. Let's be real. And I don't mean that in a weird way, but like I love her. And I'm so excited to meet her in person. And I'm nervous to meet her in person because like, I don't know. But I'm really excited. So anybody that's in the Portland area that's watching this, hopefully I can get this up tomorrow. We will be at Acorns and Threads on Wednesday. Monday is the 29th, Tuesday is the 30th, the 31st, I think. To have September, April, June, November. Yes, the 31st. From 10 when they open until, I don't know, 2 for a couple of hours. Because I know Michelle has to get back down to Eugene I can't remember why. But she has to get back down to Eugene in a timely manner. So I'm really excited about that. She'll be the first like stitchy friend, like online stitchy friend that I've met in real life. And I am so excited. I know a couple of other people are possibly coming as well. I can't remember who exactly, but it's going to be great. And I'm so excited. Okay. That's all my life stuff. Like I said, nothing crazy. Just been a bit of a weird one. Okay, so books. I have physical books because I am a physical book person. My Kindle is dead. Like not dead. Like I haven't charged it in like months. But yeah, so this book is the one I mentioned last time, Anna Maria and the Fox. It is a Victorian era. I did finally figure that out. Romance. And Anna Maria is a refugee from Mexico whose father is high up in the Mexican government. And this is during the Juarez era, the French occupation. And so she's a refugee in London. And there's 2 sisters. So there'll be, so it's the Aluna sisters novel. So there's going to be 3, I think, 1 for each sister. And this is the fox, who's named Gideon. Gideon Fox? Yes, Gideon Fox. He is his grandmother was an escaped slave from the United States. So he's half black, half Scottish, and he is a up and rising star in Parliament, and he is pushing a bill to outlaw the slave trade completely. So that is how we meet our characters. And they meet and they hit it off, but Anna Maria is already promised to someone back in Mexico, and Gideon is very focused on his career and in Parliament. And it does end up becoming a forced marriage, forced engagement kind of situation because of the standard evil lord situation. But it's different because there's already a connection here when that happens. And that's not a spoiler because the connection starts like in the beginning, and then the inciting incident that turns it into an actual like forced marriage doesn't start till like page 200. Okay, so it's really good. I really enjoyed it. It was a nice change for me. I love a period drama romance. They are my favorite. Like I said last time, I'm not real big on contemporary romance. It just always feels forced, and I don't enjoy that. But this was a really good book. I would give this 4 stars. It was good. I definitely will read it. I don't know if I'll read it again, but I will definitely read the other 2. This author, Liana de la Rosa, she's a really good author. I really like her writing style. It's unique while still fulfilling all my expectations of the genre. 4 stars. Go ahead and check it out. The next book that I read this book in like 3 days. It's not very long. It's only like 310 pages long. But guys, this is one of those books. I read this when I was in my low period last week. It was my May book of the month. And this is actually this author's debut novel. She writes about architecture, art, and designs for publications. And this is her debut novel. It's The Collected Regrets of Clover. So Clover is a death doula, which means she helps guide people in their final days, their final hours, so no one has to die alone. Her goal is so no one should die alone. That is what she believes. She has had experience with death from a very young age. She watched one of her teachers die when she was in kindergarten, and that's not a spoiler. It happens in like the first chapter. It kind of gives her I don't know, sets her, and she doesn't, her reaction isn't what people expect. She just finds it like she's there. She holds his hand. She makes sure that he feels comforted as he's dying. And then when her parents died as well when she was in elementary school, and so she goes to live with her grandfather. And so she lives with her grandfather from the age of like 8 onward, and she goes to college, and then so she's traveling the world to get her master's, I want to say, in the different death rituals of other, like, not, what's the word I'm looking for? Of other people, like different civilizations. Not civilizations, that's not the right word either, but you know what I'm trying to say. And while she's gone, her grandfather dies alone. And so she comes back, the only person she's really ever had a connection with. She comes back and she basically becomes a death doula. All of that's in the blurb and the flap. This book, you guys, it's not a romance. Not real. It has romantic elements to it, but it's not a romance. It is contemporary. It is modern day. It's set in New York City. It talks about, I mentioned this last time. I know a book is right when it connects to my life. And this book talks about how she's alone, basically. And that's not a spoiler. It's kind of what the whole book's about. It talks about how she doesn't have any real connections. And one of the reasons she works as a death doula is because she's able to not have to worry about disappointing people, of not have to worry about connections going bad, of not have to worry about disappointing someone because of something. She's a bit weird, which I get. But beyond these people that she spends time with as they're dying, the only person she has a connection with is an old man that lives in her building that was a friend of her grandfather's. It's the only person she has a connection with. And so it kind of goes through talking about how it goes through her internal fight of whether or not she should build these connections and how she should build these connections and who she should build these connections with. This book surprised me. Like, I cried twice. But not like cried. It's not that kind of cry. It's that kind of emotional. Like I can feel what she's feeling because I understand what she's going through and all of that kind of cry. But it was a beautiful book. Like, for a debut novel from Mickey Brammer, it was wonderful. I don't give books 5 stars. I don't. Because for me, that means that the book is perfect. My definition of a 5-star book is no notes, and I would read it again the minute I finished it. This book got 5 stars. It was beautiful. It was poignant. It was well written. It was so real, I think, is the thing for me that really sold it. She wrote real life. She didn't write a romanticized version of real life. She didn't write a movie version of real life. She wrote real life, awkward relationships and weird connections and anger and grief and fear and all of it. Read this book. Do it. You need to. It was excellent. I loved it. Read it. Okay. That's all I got for you guys. Oh, minute and 23 minutes. Hour and 23 minutes. I really was hoping to keep this under an hour. But apparently that's impossible. But, well, everyone that made it this far, I'm sorry I rambled. I hope everyone is having a wonderful week. I hope everyone has a wonderful week to come and have the best day available to you. Have a day, whatever kind of day you want, whatever kind of day is available to you, go have that day or night or morning or whatever, whenever it is for you. And thank you again for watching. Thank you again for subscribing if you've subscribed. Welcome to everyone new. I should have said that at the beginning and I didn't. And welcome back to everyone that's watching me again. I'm surprised you came back, especially after last time. Guys, I'm a rambler, apparently. I don't know how to make these videos any shorter, and I apologize for that. But, yeah. Like, subscribe, follow, ring the bell, whatever. I'll do all the YouTube things, and I'll see you guys again in 2 weeks. Have a wonderful night, or day, or morning, or whatever it is.